Welcome back to the Wargrove of Well. In today's video, we're going to be looking over the Slaves to Darkness Subfactions. The new Slaves to Darkness 3rd edition book is very powerful, and this is partially due to their very good subfactions. So today I will explain what rules the different subfactions give you, and the lore behind them. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have the host of the Everchosen, the fourth most legion of Archaon himself. Their army-wide abilities is they get to rally Chaos Chosen, Knights, or Warriors on a 5-up, and they can pick an additional ensorcelled banner enhancement. The host of the Everchosen is the collective name for the forces under the direct command of Archaon. They have been tasked with conquering the mortal realms, and this is the largest army of the Marshal of the Apocalypse. They raise mighty monuments to the Everchosen's glory over ruined cities, bone-covered plains, and broken mountains, as his ominous banners demarcate where the host has conquered. This is your simplest and most easiest to understand subfaction for Slave Darkness. They buff your generic units, your Chosen, your Chaos Warriors, etc., all that jazz. And it's really just kind of the default subfaction. They have some great all-around abilities, and it's just kind of a good generalist faction. Moving on to the saddest and, in my opinion, most frustrating subfaction of the new book is Legions of the First Prince. If you are unaware, before this book came out, Legions of the First Prince was its own army, and it had its own rules. But now, all we are left with is this husk of a thing. I'm not too happy with this, but that's just my opinion. For the Legions of the First Prince subfaction abilities, you can pick one undivided unit at the start of your hero phase and give it a mark that will last until your next hero phase. This gives you a lot of flexibility in what your units can do and how to manipulate the mark system. Additionally, since it is led by a Be'lakor, allied bloodletters, horrors, plague bearers, and demonettes benefit from the various marks. Be'lakor, also known as the first Prince of Chaos, leads this legion of demons and mortal puppets to fulfill his dark schemes. Be'lakor's rivalry to Archaon is stuff of legends, for Be'lakor claims the title of Everchosen. Their disdain for one another has only grown in recent times, reaching a breaking point that could lead to full-out war between the two factions. So if you like a little bit of demon flavor with your Slaves to Darkness, then this is the subfaction to take. Next up, we have the Knights of the Empty Throne. Their army-wide abilities is mounted units can run and charge, and if Archaon is not in your army, you can select a model in a Varangard unit to be the general, and if that general issues the rally command to Varangard, they get to return units on a 5-up. This is a very, very powerful ability because Varangard are insanely strong, and so being able to return some Varangard models for a little bit of an easier time is very powerful. But you are also giving up Archaon not being in your army, so it's a give and a take. But the movement of run and charge is very powerful as well. The Knights of the Empty Throne have been tasked by Archaon himself to bring ruin to the realms. They are the vanguard of the Everchosen and are his most elite warriors. They are his hammer, so to speak. He throws them at a problem he wants annihilated. Moving on to the Cabalists. They are a very fun subfaction and a very magically oriented one if you could not tell by the name. All of your heroes, if you are taking a Cabalist subfaction army, all of your heroes get to become wizards, and they can cast one spell and unbind one spell. If they are already wizards, they can attempt to cast an additional spell, and they know an additional spell from the Lore of the Damned. Also, if you do the draw on power heroic action, you can immediately do that again for each hero within 3 inches of the initial hero that did the draw on power heroic action. So it lets you kind of spread the love around as well as just have a whole ton of magical options. The Cabalists are those within the hordes of the Slaves to Darkness faction that seek power through the study of blood magic, enacting dark rituals through the sacrifice of their servants. Many of these sorcerers originate in Shyish, the land of death, and They collect their servants either willingly or through manipulation and coercive means. Before I move on to the final two subfactions in the Slaves to Darkness book, I'd like to give thanks to my Patreon supporters. You guys are fantastic, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. If you'd like to join my Patreon, there's a link in the description below, as well as a link to the Discord channel. I'd love to see you there. Moving on to the Monster Mash subfaction, we have the Despoilers. Each of your friendly monsters in a Despoilers army get +2 wounds, and each demon prince in a Despoilers army can be given a command trait in addition to your general, but each command trait must be different. This is a very fun subfaction and it lets you play a little bit more elite, focusing on those monster units as I said previously, and demon princes. The Despoiler Horde is the rarest and most dreaded of the Slaves to Darkness, and they are often led by demon princes. The Despoilers seek to spread corruption to every corner of creation. Where these ruinous beings walk, the land cracks and writhes. Thick palms of blackness manifest as the realm of chaos seeps into the bedrocks of reality. Despoiler hordes are often smaller, as very few can withstand the power and presence of a demon prince for very long. Last, but potentially least, depending on who you ask, is the Ravagers Horde. Their army-wide ability is they get a heroic action that lets them return a Marauder Horseman, Cultist, or Dark Oath unit that has been destroyed at half strength, as long as it is being placed within 12 inches of the hero, performing the heroic action and following normal reinforcement / teleport rules, meaning that they cannot be set up within 9 of an enemy unit. The Ravagers Horde is the most numerous and is probably the most hoardy of all of the Slaves to Darkness, and they spread across the realm in their lust for conquest. They have little subtlety in their tactics or aim, but they amass a massive war host, focusing on numbers over lots of armor and quality, I would say. These are your barbarians, and they meet most challenges with cold steel. And that was a quick little overview of all of the Slaves to Darkness subfactions and a little bit of their lore. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, and if you'd like to see more of this type of content in the future, consider subscribing. This has been the War of Woe, and I'll talk to you guys next time.